Elon Musk, right. I mean, you see him everywhere these days. Memes, rockets, electric cars. But today, we're going beyond all that. We're diving deep.
Deep, deep.
Exactly. And get this, we've got this source material originally in Chinese, and it gives you like a totally different perspective on the guy.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. It's not your typical Silicon Valley success story.
Right. It's like ambition times 1,000, taking huge EE risks, going after these crazy
Dreams most people would say are impossible.
Okay, so let's break it down. The source material starts with his childhood in South Africa, born in 1968. Not exactly the usual beginning for a tech superstar, right?
Nope, not really. But his family, now that's where it gets interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like adventure's practically in his DNA.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So his mom, she was a model, but her father, Elon's grandfather, was this total adventurer, moved the whole family to Africa.
Wow.
And then on his dad's side, you've got an engineer.
Huh. So you've got this mix of, what, creativity, a knack for tech, and this go big or go home attitude.
All baked right in.
So it's not that surprising then that even as a kid, Musk was already like a hustler.
Yeah, the guy designed and sold his own video game at 12 years old.
12! That's crazy.
It is, and it's not just kid stuff, you know? It shows that drive, that ambition that just becomes his whole thing.
Yeah, totally. So fast forward a bit, now it's 1995, and Musk is at Stanford, briefly, then drops out.
Inspired by the launch of Windows 95.
Windows 95,
He,
seriously?
he saw the internet was about to explode,
Yeah.
and he wanted to be right there in the middle of it.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. So he co-founds Zip2, this online city guide.
Right, and ends up selling it for over $300 million.
$307 million, plus stock options.
Not too shabby for a first act.
No kidding. So that sale, it gives him the cash, obviously, but also the confidence, right, to think even bigger.
And that's where online banking comes in. It was
Cool.
like the Wild West back then. This
Yeah.
whole new frontier.
Totally. And Musk jumps right in, head first, with X.com, his own online bank.
Yep. But he wasn't the only one in the game. Peter Thiel,
Wait, the Peter Thiel.
the one and only. He'd co-founded PayPal.
Oh, wow.
And suddenly you have this rivalry for the ages.
High stakes, right? Millions of dollars on the line. The whole future of how we pay for things online.
Exactly.
So what happens? They decide to merge, which you'd think would be the happy ending.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But
But it's anything but. It becomes this power struggle.
massive egos clashing.
And Musk ends up getting kicked out as CEO while he's on vacation.
Ouch.
Brutal, right? Even for Silicon Valley, that's cold.
Yeah, that episode really shows you how cutthroat the tech world can be.
Yeah.
No room for sentiment.
But here's the thing. You have to wonder if getting booted from PayPal was like the push Musk needed to go after his true passions.
Space exploration. Electric cars.
Yeah, all those childhood dreams.
Interesting. Tell me more.
He takes his PayPal earnings and pours them into SpaceX and Tesla.
Which, back then, those were huge e-risks.
Right.
I mean, electric cars weren't mainstream at all.
And private space travel, basically science fiction. People thought he was nuts.
But what's so fascinating is that neither of those ventures was about making a quick buck.
This was about something bigger.
Way bigger. This was about solving these massive problems, pushing humanity forward.
He really believes in this stuff, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Tesla was struggling. I mean, really struggling.
On the verge of collapse, yeah.
But then NASA gives SpaceX this contract to haul cargo to the International Space Station. And that cash infusion, basically, it saves Tesla.
It's amazing how it all connects, right?
Right. Success in space helps him keep his electric car dream alive.
But let's not forget about the guy's personality, too.
What do you mean?
Did you know that the Tesla model names S3XY?
Spell out SEXY.
Yep.
Okay, he's got a sense of humor, I'll give him that.
He does.
Even when he's talking about colonizing Mars.
Which is like his ultimate goal with SpaceX.
He really believes humanity needs a backup planet, just in case, Earth goes kaput.
It's a bold statement, and it raises so many questions. Is he right? Is it even possible?
Yeah, and what would it mean for us to become like a multiplanetary species? We're going to have to dig into that more.
Absolutely. That's a whole other layer to this story.
Totally. But, just to prove he's serious about this whole Mars thing, Musk launched his own Tesla Roadster into space.
No way.
Yeah, aiming it towards Mars. It's out there right now, like a symbol of where he wants to take us.
Powerful statement, that's for sure. But, what's interesting is that audacious spirit, that willingness to take risks, It's like a thread through his whole journey.
It makes you see that whole PayPal thing in a new light, right? Diving into online banking back in the late 90s, I mean, that was a gamble in itself.
Huge gamble. The whole financial world was being turned upside down by the internet.
Right.
Musk saw an opportunity to totally reinvent banking with X.com. It was bold, maybe even reckless.
A little bit of both.
Probably.
Yeah.
But then you've got Peter Thiel and PayPal entering the picture, and suddenly it's this clash of the titans, right?
Yeah.
Both pouring money into this fight, trying to dominate the market.
Like a digital gold rush or something.
Exactly. Both companies burning through cash, fighting for survival. In the end, they realized the only way to win was to join forces.
Had to happen, really.
Inevitable.
But as we know, it wasn't exactly a smooth merger.
No, not at all.
Musk and Thiel, two massive personalities, clashing over control, had to explode at some point.
And it did.
Yeah.
With Musk getting the boot while on vacation.
Talk about ruthless.
Harsh lesson, for sure. But maybe, just maybe, it was the catalyst he needed.
You think?
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
After that, he goes all in on SpaceX and Tesla.
True. It's almost like getting ousted from PayPal lit this fire under him. Those childhood dreams, space travel, sustainable energy, they become his mission.
And those were some seriously ambitious goals.
Yeah.
Founding SpaceX in 2002 with the goal of colonizing Mars. Private space travel was unheard of back then.
Right. Pure science fiction. Everyone thought he was crazy. But Musk was convinced that reusable rockets were the key to making space travel affordable, I mean.
He was willing to bet everything on it.
And that willingness to take risks, right. That's what eventually leads to the Falcon 9.
The first orbital-class reusable rocket.
Game changer.
Suddenly, spaceflight becomes cheaper, more accessible.
It opens up all these possibilities, not just for exploration, but for commercial ventures, too.
Huge win for Musk, a validation of his vision. He proved that private companies could compete with, even surpass, government agencies in space.
Incredible. But while SpaceX was focused on reaching for the stars, Tesla was trying to revolutionize transportation right here on Earth.
Right, with electric cars that were not just green, but high performance and stylish.
That was a tall order back then. Electric cars had this reputation for being like slow, clunky, boring.
But Musk goes like, watch this. He believed electric cars could be better than gas guzzlers in every way.
And Tesla's early models, the Roadster, the Model S, they totally changed the game.
Sleek, fast, luxurious. Suddenly, electric cars were cool.
And they appealed to people who wanted something different, something better for the planet. But building a car company from scratch, that's got to be tough.
It is. And Tesla had its share of struggles, production delays, money problems. There were times when it looked like the whole thing might go under.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. And that's where the SpaceX connection comes in again, right? That NASA contract.
That saved Tesla.
It's amazing how Musk's ventures seem to, support each other.
It's like this ecosystem of innovation.
But there's more to it than just business savvy, you know?
Oh, for sure.
You can tell he's driven by this sense of urgency.
Like a fire in his belly.
He's not just building companies, he's trying to save humanity from itself.
He's always talking about climate change, resource depletion.
The need for sustainable energy.
And colonizing Mars. That's part of it too, right?
Right. It's like a backup plan for the human race. Bold vision. A little bit terrifying, if you ask me.
It is, but it's captured the imagination of millions.
Musk has become this symbol of hope, hasn't he?
The crazy genius who just might pull it off.
But he's also attracted a lot of criticism.
His bold statements, his sometimes erratic behavior.
Pushing the boundaries of what's acceptable.
He's a complex figure, that's for sure.
It's almost like there are two Elon Musks.
How so?
You've got the brilliant innovator, the risk taker, the guy who wants to save the planet. And then you've got this controversial CEO, the provocateur, the billionaire playing by his own rules.
That duality is what makes his story so fascinating. He's not easy to define. And his journey shows that progress often comes with a price.
So how do we make sense of it all? Is he a hero, a villain, a bit of both?
It's almost Shakespearean, isn't it?
It is. The triumphs, the tragedies, the ambition, the flaws.
But what's important is that his story pushes us to think bigger, to question our assumptions, and to believe that even crazy-sounding dreams can come true.
Powerful message. It makes you wonder, what does Musk's story say about innovation itself? Is it always about making the world better, or are there other forces at play?
Like what?
Ego, ambition, maybe even a need to prove everyone wrong.
It's probably a mix of all those things.
You're right, it's not black and white. But there's no denying his innovations have had a massive impact.
SpaceX, Tesla, they've pushed the boundaries of technology,
What?
sparked our imaginations.
It's that disruption, that willingness to break the mold that's so compelling.
He forces us to confront the status quo. Imagine a different future.
But it also raises questions, doesn't it?
About what?
About the role of regulation, the unintended consequences of technology, the need for ethical considerations.
Absolutely. Those are conversations we need to have
Ah.
as a society. But for now, let's acknowledge the sheer scale of Musk's vision.
What he's managed to achieve.
It's a reminder that human ingenuity, human determination can accomplish incredible things.
And that even in this crazy, complex world, there's still room for audacious dreams and bold endeavors.
Now, let's shift gears for a minute.
Okay.
Explore something that might seem a little out there. Remember how our source material connected Musk's desire to save humanity with his belief in simulation theory?
Oh, yeah, that's where things get really interesting. It's like he's not just trying to save humanity in this reality, but maybe break free from the simulation entirely.
It's almost like he's on this cosmic quest to find the off switch for the Matrix.
That's wild. But even if we don't buy into the whole simulation thing, his actions still make us ask some big questions
About what?
about our place in the universe,
He's forcing us to think about the long-term future of humanity,
the challenges we face.
the choices we need to make to survive,
Mm.
not just on this planet, but maybe beyond.
It's mind-blowing. But before we get too lost in the existential rabbit hole, let's bring it back to Earth for a moment. We've talked SpaceX, Tesla, but Musk's ambitions go even further. He's got Neuralink, right? Developing brain-machine interfaces.
Trying to connect our brains to computers.
Whoa. And then there's the Boring Company, trying to solve traffic with underground tunnels.
It's like he's tackling every problem facing humanity.
He doesn't think small, that's for sure. It's that visionary thinking, seeing beyond the obvious, that's what sets him apart.
But not everyone's on board with his methods.
True. Definitely a controversial figure. But that's what makes his whole story so fascinating.
Yeah.
We started with this source material in Chinese, and it presented Musk as this, like, almost mythical figure driven to save humanity.
Even if it means breaking us out of some simulated reality.
Right. Adds this whole sci-fi layer to it.
Definitely.
But even if we put that aside for a second, the core question remains. Is Elon Musk a force for good? Is he pushing us towards a better future?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is, and I think it's something everyone has to answer for themselves. But looking at his track record, SpaceX, Tesla, the sheer ambition of it all.
It's hard not to be impressed.
It really is.
He's shown that with enough will, enough ingenuity, even seemingly impossible things can become reality.
He's challenged the status quo, pushed the boundaries of what we thought technology could do.
And that's a powerful message.
It is. It's like he's saying, don't settle for the ordinary. Dare to dream big. Don't be afraid to fail.
But it's also a reminder that progress isn't always a straight line.
Oh, definitely not.
There are ethical considerations, potential downsides, unintended consequences to every innovation.
Yeah, that's where the conversation gets really interesting. It's not enough to just marvel at the technology. We have to ask ourselves, what kind of future are we building? Are we prepared for the challenges that come with it?
Those are questions we all need to grapple with, not just scientists and engineers, but everyone.
Everyone, yeah. Musk's story is like this wake-up call,
It is.
a reminder that we're all shaping the future, whether we realize it or not.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I keep coming back to this. What does Elon Musk's story teach us about ourselves? About our potential?
Mm.
About the power of human ambition?
He's shown us what's possible when someone dares to think differently, to challenge conventions, to go after goals that seem out of reach.
He's shown us the importance of taking risks, learning from failure, and never giving up on your dreams, no matter how crazy they might seem.
It's inspiring in a way.
Whether you admire him, question him, even fear his influence, there's no denying that Elon Musk is a force to be reckoned with. He's a catalyst for change, a disruptor, and a reminder that the future isn't predetermined. It's shaped by the choices we make today.
His story is a call to action, isn't it?
It is.
An invitation to dream bigger, push our own boundaries, strive for a future that's worthy of our potential. So what will your contribution be?
That's the question we leave you with today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Elon Musk. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration of the ideas and innovations that are shaping our world.